is only my second time in Arizona ever. Last time I flew to Scottsdale, I drove to the Grand Canyon with my grandparents. Great memory, awesome. Flagstaff, drove through all that. Now I got 3 kids, 6, 4, and 2 in Baltimore, so it's a busy time, and it's kind of a miracle I'm even here. Because on Monday, it was the first day of school, taking my 6-year-old to the bus stop, and I said, all right, honey, I'm gone all week. See you later. So I've been gone. But she's awesome. And then we have a great team. I'm super proud of what we built, and we're just getting warmed up. So we have 25 agents, 4 staff, and we're just trying to operate at a high level. So I'm on the journey with you guys. I'm an agent, I represent buyers, I work with sellers, I'm helping my agents do the same thing you guys are doing every day. And we've built this for us, and we want to unleash it to everybody. Because we know we're stronger together. People helping people's powerful stuff, and we're super excited about that. So where did this content come from? And it's so important to have mentors. Because look, we all learn from our mistakes, right? Smart people learn from their mistakes. Hey, I tried this, it didn't work, I'm gonna do something else the next time. That's what smart people do. But wise people learn from the mistakes of others. I don't want to go through the pain and get the scar tissue just to learn the lessons. I wanna find people who are where I wanna go, get everything I can from them, and then implement it that way. And that's the power of finding quality mentors, and it's an art. And I've been so lucky to have so many, Mark Stark most recently, and they propelled my business forward in quantum leaps. So the first one, I'll just tell you a couple of quick stories on this. Does anyone recognize this guy? This Indian gentleman? That is Sharan Srivatsa. Okay, he operated, let me tell you how I met him. I'm at a Tom Ferry Summit, 2015, San Diego. Tom Ferry gets up there and said, I found the person with the best listing presentation I've ever seen in my entire life. He only does $4 million and up from Cormel to Coronado, luxury West Coast real estate, converts him at 96%. He's not a real estate agent. So I'm like, oh, a little pattern interrupt. So I said, who is this guy? Turns out, Vanderbilt MBA, Goldman Sachs banker, was the president of a real estate company, and all he did was go on appointments with his agents converting these listings. He gets up there and he says, this is my listing presentation. What Tom just shared is exactly accurate, and I'm not gonna share it all with you, because I'm not even gonna share it with all my agents, because they're not gonna know how to use it. But if you get this, it's gonna transform your business. And I locked in on that guy. So when I travel, and anytime I meet anyone, just like I met Stark at Explosion, when I see someone who's unbelievably talented, I lock in on them like a Navy SEAL sniper, no spotter required, and I'm gonna blow a hole through that person. I said, I need this guy. We were already doing pretty good in 2015. So I start texting him, I'm calling him, I'm sending him handwritten notes. And then for like 18 months, no response, but I didn't give up. I hear him on a podcast. Now he had ended up selling his brokerage, Tellus Properties, sold to Douglas Elliman, he's out. He's on a podcast and was saying, oh, Sharon, if you were to start over, what would you do differently? And he said this line, and I held him to this. He said, I wish I would have known I could just pay for access to smarter people, and I could have done this a lot quicker, a lot faster, made it a lot bigger. I messed this thing up 4 times before we 10x'd it and sold it. So he said, yeah, I wish I would have paid for access. So I sent him a direct message on Facebook Messenger. And I said, Sharon, you know, in that podcast you put out on Inman yesterday, you said you wanted to pay for access. I want to pay you for access. Will you please help me? He called me immediately. He had my number. He goes, Andrew, you've been sending me messages for like, I don't know, 10 months. And look, I don't coach agents. I don't know exactly what you want from me, but look, I watch your stuff. You seem hungry. I see a little bit of myself in you, so tell you what, I'll help you. I'm not gonna be your coach, but I'll give you access to me. I'll go over the listing stuff and show you how we grew our company. But money follows value, so tell you what, if you're serious, wire me 25 grand tonight, and we'll talk. So I looked over at my girlfriend and I said, this is gonna sound crazy. I don't really know this guy, but I'm gonna wire him $25,000. I think he's gonna do what he says he's gonna do. What do you think I did that night? I wired him best $25,000 I ever spent in my life. So I got to interact with him on an ongoing basis, and he gave me the listing. We role played it, and this is how it's gonna work in Baltimore. And first say this, and determine, whenever you talk about marketing, determine who you're marketing to before all these beautiful things. And I have this listing presentation, and it was like getting a perfect piece of marble, and I chiseled it down, and we made it better, because the only way to get better is by practicing it. I'm doing it every day, and we had it. And then I meet Alan Dalton. You guys know Alan from the network. He's turned out to be one of my best friends. Same thing happened with Alan, and Alan really made that listing presentation better, my God. I see him in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm new to Berkshire Hathaway. I've only been here for 2 years. I go to a convention. I see Alan speak, same experience. This guy's brilliant. This guy's language, he understands things at a deeper level. Obviously, you don't get to become the CEO of Realtor.com if your ideas suck. He was awesome. So long story short, I found him. I kind of locked him in an Uber on the way to the Lenny Kravitz concert. And he said, hey, Alan, I love what you said about this, about that. I was in a flow state. I said, we need to work together. I want to get you on my podcast. And I'll never forget what he said. He's sitting there in the Uber, shaking his head no at me. And I'm like, I think this guy hates me. Like I trapped him in an Uber, tricked him to get in with me, take him to the concert. And he says, Andrew, stop. I've been doing this for a long time. I recognize a generational talent when I see it. Come meet me tomorrow. We're going to sit down with Christy Budnick, the CEO, and you're going to help us with this forever agent stuff. Within 1 week of that, we were going around speaking, wrote a book, and he's helping me with everything. He came down from Connecticut, his compound in Connecticut, which I've been to. He brings everything in a suitcase. Here's everything we did at Better Homes and Gardens. This is what I did for Coldwell Banker. This is what I did at Sotheby's. This is how it worked at Realtor.com. This is what we're doing for the brand. I have it. Access is the key. Access. Some people need a coach. Some people want the accountability. That's not what we're doing. But what we are doing is going to give you access to what we believe is the absolute highest quality, best stuff that you can use. And we're going to break it down in a really incredible format. It's easy to learn, easy to retain, gives you the ability to ask questions. Mark's going to talk more on that. And of course, Gino. You all know Gino, right? The day we get acquired by Berkshire Hathaway, I was a huge fan of Warren Buffett growing up, so I loved the brand. I was the number one RE/MAX team in Maryland for 8 years. No one from RE/MAX ever called me. And I didn't care. I always figured, hey, my awards come in the form of direct deposits. Who cares? Hot air balloons, whatever. We get acquired. Guess who I get a call from? That day, Gino calls me. Thank God I answered. I didn't have his number. He goes, hey, Andrew, we've been watching you. I heard you're coming over with Home Sale. We're at Berkshire Hathaway Home Sale out in Maryland, in PA. And he says, what can I do for you? What goals do you have? What do you want to accomplish? And I said, I want to get to 1,000 sales a year. I'll probably go along with the acquisition. I don't want to make waves, but you got to convince me you're going to help me do this. And he said, not only am I going to help you do it, starting next week, I want to show you exactly how we run all of our operations at Home Services of America. And we can help you put systems into your business, and we'll get you to 1,000. Great leader. And we're going to talk more about leadership, but mentors. Okay, and then you guys know Ryan Serhant, famous guy, $1 million listing in New York. He's my cousin.
Oh my God, I thought you guys looked alike.
We do, he's not my cousin, but everyone always calls me. It's so funny on social media. On social media, people will be like, I'll post something and they'll say, look at this wannabe Ryan Serhant. Look at this Make-A-Wish Costco version Ryan Serhant. They got ripped on me and it's really funny and we engage. But that's how I ended up meeting him. He's like, oh my gosh, you do look like me. He tags me and calls me his doppelganger and it's really fun. Now we're friends. I spent some time with him in New York City. The best marketer, personal brand guy on the planet. He makes everything super bullish. And there's a system for it. There's tactics you can use. And that's the type of stuff we want to bring to you as well. And of course, I think right now I have one of the best leaders of all time as my partner, who's revered throughout the entire industry. And Mark, I'm so proud to be a part of this with you. Just gonna say it again. Love you. We're gonna crush this. And I'm so excited for them to get to experience what you're about to share.
Love you too.
It's true. Now, here's the types of content we want to cover. So I'm going to dive into 6 kind of key pillars of what we're going to be going over. Now, these are broad topics, but they're very important. And these are the topics we're going to dive deep on in this community, in the online content, in the live workshops, because we know this is what works. Only what works. That's kind of one of our mottos. There's a lot of things to talk about. We want to only what works. And it starts with this. Sales and communication. Now, I'm a sales guy through and through. I've been so fortunate to have tons and tons of sales training throughout my career. I started in new home sales, and I just got a ton of training from the builder. Then I ended up working at a sales consultancy firm on my days off, and I got to practice all this great stuff, and I love sales. Which is why when I got into general brokerage, I didn't have a website, didn't have an assistant, didn't have any leads, sold 48 homes my first year. Because I understood there's a system and a process to how sales works. And we don't like to talk about that all the time in this business. But the thing is, do you have a plan of attack for every interaction you have in this business? Here's what I define sales as in real estate. It's your ability to get your clients what they want, not what you think they want, Can you get your clients what they want in a manner in which they'll say nice things about you on the internet? Yes or yes? That's kind of what our job is. Okay, but if you don't have a plan, you'll revert to maybe your prospect's plan. If you're not clear on your plan, neither is your client. And sometimes your plan doesn't get you to where you want to go. You see, people don't even need to believe what you're saying. They need to believe that you believe what you're saying. You need to be confident. You're never going to be confident unless you have a clearly laid out plan. For example, when you get a referral, how exactly do you treat that referral and the referee? Every single time, documented checklist and a process that works. When you meet a lead at a house for the first time, how do you handle that? When you meet a seller at an open house, how do you handle that? When you meet a buyer at an open house, how do you handle that? When you're at the bar talking later, oh, my mom wants to sell her house, we should connect. How do you handle that? You have to have a system and process for everything, or else you're not going to be confident, you're not going to be scalable, duplicatable, and repeatable to really grow your business. You're kind of winging it. You see, your job, this is your product. Your ability to sell is your product. The houses aren't the product. The market's not the product. It's your ability to influence the outcome of a real estate transaction. Can you influence the outcome? And it's not just influencing clients to want to work with you. It's if you're representing a buyer, can you influence the listing agent on how to talk to the seller on why they should accept these terms? If you're representing a seller, can you coach the buyer's agent on how to talk to the buyer to come up in price and terms? It's can you influence and effectively manage the real estate ecosystem, which is, hey, every deal, there's a buyer, there's a seller, buyer's agent, listing agent, appraiser, mortgage, title, inspector, etc. Your job is to influence every single one of these stakeholders for your client's benefit. That's what your job is, you see, and you have to have a process for that. You have to have a system for that. And you have to, if you can't confidently say, no, I can impact the outcome of this transaction, if you can't say that, then you're just opening doors and you might get wiped away. But that's not what we're going to have happen in this community. So we're going to give you the tools in a compelling fashion. And if you can just get 1% better every day, get involved, ask questions, engage, you're going to be a lot better off than where you are. And we know a lot of you guys are already really successful. That's great. But we can all get more successful. See, sales is first on this little circle, but everyone's obsessed with this, branding and marketing. I need a new logo. I need more leads. I want to do more direct mail. I want to get more opportunities. But the thing is, if you can't close them and sell them effectively, why would you do that? It would simply be like if you opened a restaurant and the food sucks and the servers are bad and you say, God, we gotta get more people in here. Let's spend more, we want everyone to know how mediocre we are. That's what a lot of agents do, and I think it's a mistake. This is where you want to spend your time to get the confidence, then you turn this on, and look, I'm obsessed with branding and marketing. And I define that as just what types of behaviors and activities are you doing to create awareness for you, your brand, your team, so you can set appointments with buyers and sellers, right? Personal brand is so important now more than ever in this business, and guess what? We all have one. Whether you do videos or not, or pictures, personal brand, we all have one, whether you like it or not. And how I define that is, it's the digitization of your reputation. That's all it is. When people Google you, what comes up? And you can control it if you're focused on it, if you have a plan, just like everything else, if you have a process and a system to make it what you want it to be. Because you get to pick your presence. You get to pick how you're perceived online. That's powerful. And there's a method to do it. I like to call it, what you need to do is find your uniqueness and exploit it in the service of others. Tough exercise. You got to go deep with yourself, with your partner, with your spouse, with your team. But figure that out. Be yourself, because no one's better at being you than you, and you're enough. And you make that part of your brand. And if you can get these two things together, you know what they call you? Top producer. You're a top producer, sales and marketing. Wow, And if you get those two together, you'll never worry about money again, and that's fantastic. But if you want to grow something bigger than yourself, you need to have some leadership skills. Leadership is unbelievably important. That's why I mentioned some of these mentors of mine. They're all incredible leaders, okay? Now look, one more thing on sales. Do you know what they call the best salesperson in any company since the beginning of time?
CEO.
Let's go. That's right. The best salesperson.
I listened to it this morning.
Ah, you cheated! Hey, you must have liked it. Now you're back front row. She's an ambassador. They call the best salesperson the CEO. That's why Gina's probably a pretty good salesperson. Guess who was also really, really, really good? Mark Starr. He's the best salesperson in the room. But we're not here to sell you. We're not going to say, oh, wait, there's more, this, that. We're just here to invite you on that stuff. So I wanted to land that message. We're not here to sell you. We just want to invite you in. Mark's going to share a lot about the really special program we have for his old company only in these markets, and that's fantastic. But leadership's key. You have to know, no one wants to follow anyone they can't learn something from. Okay, let's start there. And you have to have a vision. Where are you going? Get clarity. Where do I want to go? You have to have a mission. Why am I doing it? What's my personal mission for this company, this team? Where am I going? Why am I doing it? And if the why becomes big enough, the how is easy. And what are my core values? What standards am I going to put in place to help me achieve that? To help me live the mission, achieve the vision. That's leadership. How do I hire people? How do I run effective meetings? How do I hold people accountable in the way that they want to be held accountable that's going to make them successful? These are tough things. And these are the topics we want to cover. And not just what I'm doing right now is giving you the glossary overview. We're going to go deep on these. Tactical, only what works. This is how you do it. With proof, with results. Okay? Then, after you have those three things in place, you can really have a meaningful conversation about wealth building. One of my favorite topics. Because a lot of agents could get a little loosey-goosey with this stuff. It's kind of pie in the sky, but it doesn't have to be. You can crack this code. You make a lot of money on these commissions. You have to understand this Western capitalistic structure we're playing in. You're a 1099. There's a lot of options. LLCs, putting yourself on salary, setting up retirement accounts, investing in real estate. Wealth building is a major topic. Mark's going to touch on that too. How do you build an asset, okay, inside your business? Wealth building, super important. So as you can tell, these are four massive topics, and we could have thousands of subtopics underneath this. What's in there today, right now, as soon as you join, all my listing presentation stuff. An hour and a half of me going over it step by step live, drawing on the timeline. This is exactly what I say, this is when I say it. If they say this, I say that. This is the step. That's there. And then, if you watch it live, pause, do whatever you want, then 10 modules going over each step even deeper. And you can ask questions and comment. That's in there today. So that's pretty cool. On September 6th, our live workshops are going to be the first Wednesday of every month, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Mark's going over clarity. One of the most important topics you can possibly have. That'll help you with your vision. That'll help you with your sales process. That'll help you with moving the ball forward, not just in real estate and sales or making money, but in your life. And that's what we call personal development. Personal development is critical. Because I learned a long time ago, your level of success will never outpace your level of personal development. The famous Jim Rohn always says, if you can learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job, you'll go from making a living to making a fortune. And so far on my journey, I've lived that. That's so true. How do you set goals? How do you take care of yourself? How do you achieve clarity? How do you do time management? All things that aren't real estate specific, but they impact it, right? If you had your routines down and you were clear and your mindset was strong, do you think you'd be a better salesperson? You think you'd be able to put together some more impactful marketing campaigns? You think you'd be able to lead people a little bit better? Because guys, we're all leaders whether you have a team or not. You're leading your clients through transactions. You're leading this process and communicating effectively to the lender, the title company, the mortgage people. We're all leaders, whether you like it or not. You have a choice if you want to be a good one. And it starts with personal development. Guys, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. That's why this is such a powerful topic. You can be unstoppable with this stuff. And last but not least, certainly not least, is technology and innovation. Is change happening rapidly now more than ever? AI, websites, different brokerages popping up, all kinds of models. Technology and innovation is a fact of life. And the change in this industry is guaranteed. And it's coming. And I get excited about that. So we're going to be on offense the whole time. Best trained team likes the money field. Give me the ball, we're going to be on offense the whole time. So change is guaranteed, but unfortunately, your progress is not, unless you choose to ride with it. And we do not believe technology is going to wipe out real estate agents. Like, oh, you're going to be like travel agents. That's not true. But the people who use technology and innovation consistently, they will wipe out some of the agents. No doubt about it. We're already seeing it. So this right here is the foundation for our content. And how we came up with this is, it's a famous Isaac Newton quote, is if I've been able to see further, it's only because I've been standing on the shoulders of giants for a long time. And I'm a student of this. And I want to be students with you. No one's better than anybody. We're here. We want to come together in this community and rock it out. And speaking of titans of industry, and one of the giants who's been such a huge mentor to me, I'm going to bring Mark Stark back up here and take it away.
Okay, I wanted to take just a few minutes and share with you a few questions that come up really over the years from numerous sales executives. And I think they'll all be relevant to everyone here because they're very general and we all deal with them. And hopefully it'll give you more insight again into what Andrew's covering and what we're going to cover with the community. So first question that always comes up is, how is it some sales executives can succeed and grow their business consistently year over year, where others, even if they work hard, others, they deal with challenges, or they're always stopped by buck wild, or they end up just failing out of the business. What is the difference? Okay, to bring this home to you, I want to take you back to 2000. In 2000, almost 2001, I got really frustrated with the business, the industry, and my company. We were a straight traditional brokerage, just like every other real estate company out there. And I told my leadership team, I said, respectfully, I'm not getting any more tired ideas from you. Tried that. I'm going to go to the sales executives, and I'm going to find out what they want. And we did, you had to be producing. You could participate. You had to be actually producing and selling real estate. And we did the whole whiteboard. And what came out of that is agents ultimately wanted to be the broker, right? But they didn't want to deal with all the challenges of being a broker. And that's where we came up with our model, running a brokerage within a brokerage, okay? A team, what the industry calls teams today, could be a brokerage of 1 or a brokerage of 21. That was up to the agent, all right? We put that in place. And again, this is before teams, and guess what? Our production and our growth skyrockets. And it is rocking. And we're building this brokerage within a brokerage. We're helping sales executives actually build businesses. So much of this had nothing to do directly with real estate, but it was so important to be successful in any business, including the real estate business. So that's rocking. About 4 years into that, Mark Stark says, you know what? This model is fantastic. My vision is to grow outside of the Las Vegas market. I know this can work outside of Las Vegas. Well, when I was really honest with myself, I realized I had no time. I was buried. I'm working 26 hours now in a 24-hour day. All right? How do people do that? I don't know how you grow. I'm doing my best. I'm certainly a committed person. I'm working hard. How do they do this? So I reached out to a mentor of mine, Kurt Anderson. He's also been my CPA for 40 years. He's a brilliant thinker. And I said, Kurt, I need your help. Told him what the scenario was. I want to grow outside the market, but I'm just overwhelmed. I don't have time to think about anything. So he says, send me everything on your company. All right, I'm going to have a zillion questions for you. You'll answer those questions. I'll evaluate it all, and I'll give you my opinion. So we do that. Ask me a zillion questions. I give him everything. All right, calls me up one day. He says, I've evaluated everything that you sent to me. I have an answer for you. Let's get together. I'm like, awesome. Great, great, great. We go. I meet him at his office. He sits down. He goes, figured out the problem. I go, what's the problem? He goes, you. I go, you have to terminate me. Great plan. Okay. He goes, Mark, I'm serious. He said, in looking over everything you sent, and even how you answer questions, it is clear that you have a belief system that this has to happen this way or it will not get done. That has to happen like this or it won't get done. So you have this ingrained in you. Out of that meeting, here's what had to happen. I had to change some key beliefs, some stinking thinking that I had. I had to put some additional processes in, some additional systems in, and that metamorphosized my whole business. That laid the foundation for us to grow into Phoenix, to California, to grow in the markets we were already in, and still have plenty of time left over. In fact, it let me know that I could grow into 50 markets if I wanted to or more. That wasn't the issue. Now the question was, where did I want to grow? Why did I want to be there? Specifically, what worked well for me? Not, can I grow from those changes? It was key. You know what else came out of that? And it was something really powerful that was unexpected. I created the OP method for me, and that is my time management system, which I'm also going to be sharing with this. I think it'll be my next one. Yeah, I do clarity, okay, which is, by the way, one of my superpowers. That's another one that changed my whole life, so I'm going over that on September 6th. But the next one will be the OP method, all right, of how do you get, because it's not just about business, it's about life. It's all in one. You know what? We're all jumping as fast as we can along those lines. So think about that. Just some simple tweaks to that aspect changed the whole business life and changed my personal life as well. Second question that comes up, and that is, you know, life throws us all challenges and disappointments. Now, how do we deal with these? Now, I'm going to share two things with you. One is a business aspect that'll be with me forever, and one is a very personal one. So the business. How many of you remember the 2007-8 downturn? We try not to, but we do. Okay. I was in Vegas at that time. Our average sales price went from 4.25 to 1.25 in a few months. The top line of my company lost 77% of its top line. 77%. So just think of it to relevant to you. Look at your income last year and take 77% off of that income. That's what we were dealing with. Okay? Challenging times. Now, do you feel getting through that was luck? No. It is depending on those processes, depending on that vision, depending on those systems to get you through that. It also depends on the foundation and the relationship you built with sales executives and leadership teams. That's how you get through. You already laid the foundation, okay, with those people today, prior to those challenges happening that most people never saw coming along those lines, right? The message there is these things aren't won by accident. They're part of understanding and growing from a leadership standpoint overall. And it doesn't have to be on a scale of a company. That could happen in a situation in your personal life, in your personal business that you have to handle. Let me ask you this, honestly. If we would have gone out of business in 2008, you know what most people would have said? Well, sure. I mean, they lost 77%, but no one gets out of it. I mean, it was a horrific downturn. I mean, no one was going to get out, especially a company that size. They're never going to make it. That would have just been another story of obvious. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Now, the second example I want to give you, very, very personal, and I know some of you already know this, and some of you don't. But in June of this year, we had a tragedy in our family, and I lost my wife, Hope. And you know, how do you have a tragedy like that happen and go forward? How do you deal with just the thoughts and the emotions? We're not robots, we're people. All right, so how do you deal with that? How do you help and stay true to your family and help? I have two girls, a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old that just lost their mom. How do you do that and still stay focused on moving all of you forward? Okay? These are all, you know, thought processes and really systems and aspects that you have to depend on. There are processes, you know, even making good decisions. If you think we all make good decisions just by luck, no. You have to have a process for really making good decisions. It doesn't have to be complicated, but I promise you, it's a process for good decisions. Otherwise, you know what? You just keep making mistake after mistake after mistake. All right? And as Andrew said, Yeah, we all learn from our own mistakes. We will make mistakes, but the best way to learn is from someone else's mistakes. You save time, effort, and money. Okay? And then the third question that comes up is, Mark, when and how can I build enough wealth if I want to retire? I may never want to retire, but if I do, when can I get to a point that even if I want to pull back, that I get enough money to live the life I want to live, all right, do what I want to do, all right, in this business? There's ways to do that. I have to share this, and it's one of my pet peeves, so I'll give you that up front. Let me give you an example. If I said to all of you now, you decided you're going to relocate to another market, would you do this? You decided to relocate. You have a house. You lived in the house 20 years. Would it make sense to you to take, you're moving out, you pack everything up, you take the keys to the house, and you throw them on the counter, and you look at the house, you go, hey, this house has been great to us. We love it. That's great. And you leave. You don't sell it. You just leave. How many of you would do that? Okay. Because if the hand goes up, I'll take it today. Okay, I will. All right. Here's the kicker. All right. The reason you would never do that is you get it. And yes, we lived in that house, but it's also an asset of our family. We have that asset, and we want the equity, which is how we measure in that example, that asset. We sell it, and we get the equity. Then tell me this, guys. Why do 99% of agents don't see that in their own real estate business? You guys see real estate, having your business as cash flow only. Only one aspect. We make money when we sell, and there's no asset to build. You know why I know that? Because even when you do transfer or you decide to retire, hey, here's a list of all the names of the people I work with. If they ever buy, will you pay me a referral? That's like taking the keys and throwing them on the counter. One of the other things that's very important to me is we're going to talk about building an asset in this business, because it is an asset. Yes, it's cash flow, and you're also building an asset, because we're going to talk about exit strategy. And the misnomer about exit strategy is this. It's twofold. One, people think an exit strategy is only good when you exit. So I really don't have to worry about it because I'm not exiting yet. Okay? Wrong. First of all, you are correct. It will absolutely help you when and if you choose to exit in different ways, but you can exit and it will absolutely help you. But you know what's bigger about having a great exit strategy? It strengthens your foundation now, and your income goes up today because of that exit strategy. Because the exit strategy puts the things in place, the same things that it's going to make your asset worth more is the same things that build your revenue today. And we're going to talk about that. We helped agents pre-COVID, 3 to 4 a year, sell their business to another sales executive. Highest one I ever did was $1.6 million. Selling a real estate business. Because we see, back in 2001, we started with the right thought process. We started with a thought, this is a business. We're building a brokerage within a brokerage. So they own a brokerage. Well, Mark, would you sell your brokerage or walk away from it? I'd sell it. Okay, so guess what? They should have the same opportunity to do it as well. All right? These are key aspects that we're going to tie into this in all different ways. I want to share with you now 4 items that makes us different. Because listen, guys, there is so much content out there. There's so much training. There's so much stuff. I get it. Okay, but I want you to understand what we're doing and why it's a little bit different. In fact, it's a lot of bit different than what's out there. Okay, and there's 4 things that makes us different. 1, the method. And Andrew touched on this, but I want to reiterate a couple things. First of all, we use RLP, Rapid Learning Process, because we understand how sales executives actually internalize information so they can take it from knowledge, all right, to actual execution in their business, because that's key, right? I don't want you learning stuff and then you can't actually use it, and all you get out of it is go, oh my God, that was good. I really enjoyed that. That was great. But you actually never use it and implement in your business. Not okay. All right, so we want to take you from that. So first, in RLP, as Andrew states, whatever subject we do, like he did listings, we do the whole thing all at one time. Okay, so you get a live event and you hear everything. You're able to ask questions, and we go over the whole thing. Once we're done with that live event, we release, because they're already made, we release videos, taped videos that breaks down that content into different modules. Okay, depending on what's necessary, we'll have as many modules as needed. 2, 3, we allow and need your ability to ask questions. Everyone in here learns at different paces. Everyone in here is interested in different aspects of their business. Everyone in here has different goals for their lives and business. Okay? You get to ask your questions that are important to you. You know, Mark, someone may get this really quickly. I'm just one of those people that I need to learn. I need to go over it a few more times, and I have some more questions. You can send in those questions, and I promise you, if they're helping you, they're helping other people in the community as well. And if they're not, so be it. All right, it's there, and we're building that content over time. And 4, on the method, is please understand that yes, we have a monthly masterclass, but that's in no way, shape, or form the only times we're going to be communicating to the community. That's going to be ongoing on a weekly basis. We're going to, 1, get feedback from you. All right, get feedback from you so we know we can build content around that. But also, we've got content that we want to share on a consistent basis. It doesn't have to be just a master class to help you move forward. So this is a constant, interactive, ongoing mentorship. That's what we're building here. All right, and it's something that you're involved in. You're not on the outside looking in, you're inside. And you're able to say, hey, I need information on this. 2, makes us different. Access. This is the second area, access. Be real clear on this. 1, with our company, you get Mark, you get Andrew, you get Matt. It's us. Most other systems out there, to monetize it correctly, and I'm not beating them up, I'm just giving you fact, they have to staff it out. So they start off with this, and if you want this from me, that's great, but you're not getting me. You're getting Bobby. You're getting Susie. We're not staffing out. It is us. And even when we choose to bring in an expert, because we have people that we know will help move your business forward, and we want them to share what they've done and what they've created, sometimes they have a fee. We will pay for that fee, and we will participate. We're always part of what you're learning and what you're doing. All right? Key aspect of access. And the last part about access, which I've mentioned, please, you can control the content that we deliver. We'll always push our content that we know will be helpful to you, so you're not going to lose that opportunity. But if something's relevant to you now, we want to know about it so we can build that into the mix. All right, 3, makes us different. Our price. This is the one that I got to talk about that Mr. Andrew beats me up on. Okay.
I hate this number.
Okay, he hates this. So I'm going to share with you what our actual price is, then I'm going to share with you what I, for my own reasons, wanted to do for this company. First, our actual price that you'll see on the website is $997 a year per person, period. $997, which by the way, is phenomenal. $997 per year per person. I just got done talking to people today, they're coaching for $8,000, for $16,000. I mean, it's just craziness. And they're coaching with people who haven't even done what they did, okay, in their business. So, but again, that's monetized out, and that's fine, that's great. This is set up that you don't have to cancel anything that you're already doing, all right? So $997 is the normal price. It is, and this is for my own selfish reasons, I want everyone, 100% participation, everyone involved in this company, all right? It is my sneaky way of wanting to get back and be able to interact with this organization, all right, in some way that I don't get to do now because the company was sold. So now I can get back in, and I want to be part of that. So our price to you is $360 per year, period. Okay, so there is absolutely no reason not to get involved. But again, you don't have to cancel anything. Okay, it just lets you know if this is your first day in real estate or you've been in real estate 100 years. The bottom line is you can afford this and you can invest in this, because there's truly, I'm going to be blunt, there is no investment. It's set at that price so you're 100% in. Because anything you push back on that, and now let me be the CEO for a second, anything you push back on that is stinking thinking, and you're missing the opportunity, and you're coming from fear, or you're coming from scarcity, and don't worry about it. I get it. Guess what? We'll help you through that. We'll help you through that. That's part of our job. That's part of a leader's job, to help you through that, and we take that very, very seriously. And fourth, what makes us different is our vision. Clearly, we don't have dollars at the top.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. We don't have dollars at the top of the goal in driving, and it isn't. We can make a difference. Listen, from Matt's success, Andrew's success, and mine, if we didn't make another dollar the rest of our lives, we're fine. So the reality of it is we have the opportunity to give back and to do something that we truly love to do. Look at they're like sitting there going,
I don't think Andrew's good with that.
yeah. They're like saying, Mr. sold his company.
He wanted to make it free. I said, dude, we're already losing.
Yeah,
At some point we have to make it.
exactly. I did have a little convincing there, but push. All right, so that's where so our real vision is to build a large community that we can affect, that everyone in their own way, even though they got different goals, we're all rowing in the same like direction, and we can work together. Because we haven't even tapped the surface of really what we're going to do together, because it's going to grow and grow into different aspects, and we're going to do that together. Now, I do want to have Andrew bring you up here in just a second to kind of just show you how easy it is to get signed up and do this. And it's not complicated, you can really figure it out on your own, but I want him to take you through the steps. But before that, I do want to say this. Look, if you're somebody who says, I want to tweak areas of my business, we're for you. If you're somebody who says, I don't know it all, and I know there's a ton more that I can learn and get better, we're for you. If your production level is not where you want it to be, or you're frustrated about time and different aspects of the business, I promise you, we're for you. You know what's beautiful for me is now that I don't have a company to run, I have a little bit of extra time on my hands, okay? And this is where I'm putting all my time and effort. So let me bring up Andrew now, and oh yes, and we're gonna get to questions in just a second. Let me bring you up, and then you can show them, and then we can go to questions.
Yeah, I think it's that. I think they got it in front of them there. And I got to tell you, the people, when we presented the big room in Orange County, they went freaking bananas. And in Scottsdale, they did bananas. So I got to ask you a question. Are you guys in?
We're in.
Are you in? Let's go.
You're in.
I'm trying to make it a no-brainer. Yeah, Mark's so funny. I said, yeah, Mark, we all didn't get to sell our company that did $9 billion and stuff. Yeah, we didn't get to do that. I got kids. I play golf sometimes. These flights, they're free, Mark. But he'll get it. You're working on it. Is that me? So this is how simple it is. You can look at the QR code. Super important thing here. You got to go online first. starkundem.com/BHHS, or just hit the QR code if you don't do that. You fill out a profile, or you're just in. You go there, it takes you right to the page, and you're in. And as soon as you do that, you have access to everything. Everything. The feed's in there. My listing stuff's in there. September 6th, all the clarity stuff's going to be in there. The next month, I'm probably going to do some personal branding course. Then we're going to do new construction. We're going to do OP. Was anyone saying, hey, what is OP? Only priority time management. That changed my life too. I've already learned a lot about that. So much value. So we're super pumped. Feel free to answer questions. We'll hang out for a little bit. And we want everyone to be in so we can grow together.
First, Mary, and then Todd.
Is this something whether I'm residential, commercial, all types of real estate, or is it only residential?
The majority of the direct content will affect residential. However, all the other aspects from leadership, personal development, it doesn't matter what line of business you're in. So, if you see value also not only in that, but also being involved in the community, because there's some businesses, like if I'm in property management, let's say, or I'm in commercial, do I want to be part of a community where I have thousands of people in like business of what I'm doing and maybe can build relationships? So there's other benefits from there, but the main direct real estate training will be mostly from a residential standpoint.
I don't know why every mortgage loan officer is not in this,
Yeah,
every
exactly.
title rep's in this. If you're a property manager, my God, don't you want to be able to run a bunch of vehicles? Sales is sales is sales. So one of my courses is gonna be how to sell anything. It has nothing to do with real estate. How do you make people comfortable? Establishing bond and rapport. How do you set expectations? How do you uncover compelling reasons to do business? Uncover budgets, set clear outcomes, and move the process forward. This is not unique to real estate, but it is unique to high-income people.
This is more kind of a curiosity question from you, because I did have access to this early, so I actually got to watch your presentation, your listing presentation, marketing proposal. Besides being brilliant, the piece that sticks out at me was the timeline.
Yeah.
Your timeline piece, where did that come from?
What I realized was most sellers need to take ownership of the timeline, and then everything will click for them. So what happens next? What happens next? We sit there, we're talking about marketing, you're always presenting. Presenting's performative. You're talking about me. A proposal's collaborative. So instead of focusing on how I'm different, I'd like to focus on how your home's different, because I actually cooperate with other agents, but your home doesn't cooperate with other homes. That's Dalton 101 that we baked into that.
Yeah.
The timeline is so beautiful, and I do listing presentations. Sometimes I do them in 10 minutes, because your presentation should be different. You should be capable of going through the whole thing. But if you're dealing with someone who wants to hurry up and let's go, and you're at the coffee shop and they say, show me what I need to do. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna prep the house to get ready. Then we're gonna get pictures. Within 3 days, we're doing this. Then we're gonna go coming soon. Then we're gonna launch the video. Then we're gonna do the open up. And then you put dates to it. You put dates to it. And you know what always happens? They say, I think I can get it ready next week. Or, no. We can't do this till after Halloween. I don't give a shit. I want them to own it and say, okay, cool, that's the plan. And then we're gonna get you in settlement here. So you just being able to draw a timeline, and that works for buyers too. Wait till you see the buyer stuff.
I can't wait.
Oh my God, buyers even easier. They want to buy what we sell. We get in the way half the time. Anyway, timelines are critical for anything. Mortgage timeline, title timeline, buyer timeline, seller timeline, property management timeline, commercial leasing timeline. Putting key elements on a date, tying it to a date, and explaining what unique value you bring to influence that situation. People won't say no. And if they do, you don't want to work with them. They don't get it. They'll be a nightmare. Why do we need to take pictures? Okay, Jesus. Well, sometimes, you bring the buyer, double end it. We talk about that too. Love doing that.
So any other questions? Yes.
Of course. Renewal fees. I love the program. I want to renew. Is it going to take you up to the 97 or do I like a?
Not for Americana.
Not for this company. And guys, I do want to ask you a favor. Please do not discuss this, because it's open. It will eventually, we're working with all the Berkshire Hathaway companies now. We've got so many relations, and then home services companies. But eventually it will be everywhere, and no one, even the other Berkshire companies, aren't getting this price. They're getting $9.97. So don't want you even talking about this to Berkshire organizations, price-wise. Definitely can do it, because truthfully, at $9.97 or $3.60, it doesn't matter. It's incredible value overall, but I just wanted to do something very special for this particular organization that I'm proud of, and again, I want everyone